Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show Real Talk with Cathy and Shania. I am your host, Kathy, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for the exciting episode titled Taking the Leap. And this episode is brought to you by C1 Productions. But before we get started, let me introduce my host for today, Shania. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hey everyone.
Let's also introduce our guest, Fritz. How are you?
I'm doing good. I hope everybody's doing fine as well.
And also, Mars. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm great. Hello, everyone.
Well, they'll be joining me to explore the depth of the topic being discussed and share their unique perspectives. So today we're going to explore should couples live together before marriage to truly understand each other's habits and compatibility. So I came across this video last week where there was this guy who was interviewing people on the street, and he was like asking them questions like how should couples like take to how many years should couples take before they move in together. Others were saying 2 years, were saying 1 year, others were saying 5 years. I don't know. So like I'm going to start with Shania. Should couples live together before marriage? What's your take on that, Shania?
Okay, depends with the couple. If they love each other, maybe they can. Okay, this question, I'm not going to give you a yes or no answer. For my personal opinion, I would rather move in with someone after marriage because most of my life, my parents were hospitable people, so we've lived with many people before, and I just would love to live on my own first before I decide to live with someone else. So I'm going to say, yeah, no, yeah.
No, you know you have to stick with one, right? Yes or no?
Okay, so should I give you an answer? Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
say they should get married first before moving in.
Okay. What about you, Mars? What do you think about that? Should they live together before marriage, or should they wait until marriage?
They should live together after marriage because that is the one written in the Bible. And that's how God designed us,
Mhm.
to have our marriage, to have our relationship live after you are married. So the man and the woman will leave their own family, their parents, and they will live together.
Okay. What about you, Fritz? What do you think?
Well, I do have the same views with Mercedes. I just wanted to add on that living together would be not only maybe violating what is written in the Bible, it's also violating each other's personal space, I would say. Because when we say that when the man and a woman is married, they become one flesh, right? So by living together before marriage, we would be tampering that design by God. And not only that, we are trying to quote unquote exploit our partner. We are also have the tendency to create a not so healthy sexual relationship with our partner that is supposed to be for after marriage. So
Okay, so all of you are saying they should get married first before they move in together, right? But I'm going to disagree with you all. That's not the case in today's society. They'd rather move in together and figure out if they're going to get married or not. That is the case? And also there was this research on April 2023, where like University of Denver, they found out that 34% of marriages ended among those who live together before being engaged, while just 23% of marriages ended among couples who waited until after engagement or marriage to move in together. So this here's the thing, and you're going to agree with me with this or disagree, but most of the couples in today's society, they'd rather move in together before they get married. You see, they have dated maybe for 2 months and they already living together. So I'm going to disagree with you, all of you, because you're saying they have two, but whatever we're saying, they are not even following the scripture or something. The scripture says you have to get married first before you move to your husband's house, but that is not the case.
Why are they moving
So
in though? What do you think?
yeah, I
For what
think
purpose?
To get to know each other, to see if they're compatible.
that
Financial reasons.
is that are those the only reasons they move together? Yeah, some of them move in together for financial reasons. Maybe I'm unable to, like, to pay some bills, and maybe my boyfriend can do that. So I'm just going to ask him, "Can I move in for some time?" And before I know it, I'm not going back to my house. So yeah, I think financial reason, like, is one of the most reasons why the couples decide to move in together.
There's actually a saying that you can
So
only know a person's attitude if you're living under one roof. So probably that's the reason why they wanted to know more their partner and figure out if they are really compatible with each other.
But you
okay.
can do that when both of you are still staying at your places.
No, you cannot
You don't
really
have to move in
because
together.
it's
Like,
different if you're living under one roof. No, you cannot really hide your true identity, your true colors if you're living under one roof.
But the decision of couples living together before marriage is a personal one, and it can vary depending on cultural, religious, and individuals' belief. So you see, like a Muslim community, you cannot move in with a guy before getting married. But for Christians, that's a common thing. So some religions don't allow that, but some allow that.
Christianity, it's not a
But people do it.
people
Well, it
tend to
depends.
go against the biblical.
Eh, It's not really particular with religion. Actually, I think it's the way that they practice it, or the way that they hold themselves accountable with what they believe. So, for example, you would be able to encounter Christians who would say, "Yes, I believe in the Bible, I believe in Jesus, and I believe in everything." But when it comes to practicing it, and or having their way of interpreting things, they would still be able to do those things, like move in with their partner as early as 2 months or something like that. So even Muslims, I know Muslims who would honor marriage before moving in, and some Muslims wouldn't consider marriage and before moving in as well. So there's a lot of, I think, not just religion, but religion is a factor, but it's not what most people consider before moving in or not. So that's what I would say.
And when we say about religion, I thought that it means that couples should not like bed each other before like marriage, not move in together. So are those two different statements? Because you guys are saying the Bible says that couples should not move in with each other before marriage. But is it the other way around? People should not sleep with each other before marriage. Are you mixing it up? Because I see no point if a couple decides they're sleeping together. I don't think that they should say, oh, the Bible says we should not move in with each other, not until you're married or something like that, because they have already gone against the biblical perspective of marriage. So, either way, I don't think like it really matters. Maybe it just depends with the person. Do you want to move in together? But I'd rather live on my own for now.
Yeah, Shani, actually, that's a very good point when you said that some people may be confusing it, because clearly the Bible did not say anything about do not move in together before marriage, but it's clear that the union of man and woman will be sanctified once they are married. If they will be moving in together, let's say they move in together, or let's say sleep together. The Bible is not saying that we should not sleep together, but what we're doing is when we move in together, there is still a temptation, or there's still a tendency for the couple to have, for example, premarital sex, which is the one that is prohibited. by the Bible. So by moving in or by sleeping together, yes, they're not having sex or they're not doing anything before they're married, but they are doing the things that has the tendency to lead up to that what the Bible is prohibiting. So, for example, what Jesus said on being angry, you heard it said that do not kill or thou shalt not kill. But Jesus is saying that truly I say to you, if you are angry with your brother or sister, you are also guilty of murder. So you're not killing somebody, you're not doing any actions towards somebody, but your thoughts, your desire, your affection, and even your will or your emotions towards that person can still lead you to be guilty to the same crime leading up to that particular action. You did not kill, but you were angry, but you're guilty with the same sin. So moving in together, you may not be, guilty of the same. You're not. You may be not doing the prohibited thing in the Bible, but it could still lead up to that action. So that's why I just wanted to sort that out. So
But
any
do you
thoughts are
believe like
welcome.
Oh, okay.
you can move in together? Okay, but do you believe like you can move in together and still not do those things? You can't. You already like brought
I think
That's
it would be
the
impossible.
temptation.
difficult.
No,
Mhm.
you can't. It's
It's
impossible.
gonna be hard.
For you, you can. So if you're saying, Fritz, you can live together and still not do that.
No, I'm not saying I can.
But you
I'm not saying
sounded
I can.
like you can. You can stay. It's a
No,
hard situation though.
it really is. So that's why you should not put yourself on that position, even if you think that it's easy or it's gonna be hard for you. So that's what is the Bible is telling us, that it's not telling us no, you can't sleep or you can't move in with someone, but what the Bible is saying is you should not have premarital sex before marriage, and that moving in and sleeping together are not the same thing with having sex, but those things can lead to that.
What do you mean by moving in and sleeping like it's not the same as premarital sex? It
That's
is
what
the
I was
same
saying.
thing.
It's not the same thing, but it can lead to that, right? Let me tell you, can you move in with your partner that you really love, that you're really attracted to, that you feel like he's your soulmate, he's so good, he's so attractive, he's so handsome, and then you sleep in the same bed, and then you just, sleep straight and not minding one another,
That
Yeah,
is
or
impossible.
use the
that would be
bathroom,
difficult.
right? You use the same bathroom, you use all the same utensils and all that, you see each other. I think that's gonna be hard, or borderline impossible, as Mercedes said.
Well, then don't do it. Don't move in together if you cannot contain yourself. Just don't do it.
Right.
So what I was saying is I don't think that it matters if you guys have already slept with each other, like to overlook some things, like, or if you move in, like, we won't be able to control each other, and yet you guys are still having like premarital sex. So does it really matter?
And that's why I said it depends on individuals' beliefs. That's why I said that. Like for some people it does matter, and for some people it does not. So
Do you think it matters?
for me, I'm going to stand with individuals' beliefs. There's some things I believe in, and there's some things I don't. So, if we make a
Like
choice to
what?
moving together, if we make a choice to moving together, for me, I won't do it. I won't move in together with a person before marriage because that I believe it's wrong. But for some people, it won't matter for them. For me, it matters. I would not move in with a person without getting married to them first. That That's what I believe, and that's what I've seen growing up. Is that
So
answer?
everyone in this call has agreed that
Kathy,
like you should first get married before
Yeah,
moving
Kathy, would
in.
you prefer to
go
discover
ahead.
your spouse's different behavior or bad behavior after you're married rather than discovering it before the marriage?
Well, I can still discover their behavior when we are not in together. We are not in the same room, in the same house. I can still discover their bad behaviors. So I don't know.
How they,
It's
Do
not
you
a
think
must
that
that
would
I
be
move
enough?
in with
yeah,
them.
I think
I
like
It's not a must that I move in. So go ahead.
for example, your boyfriend is really lazy and everything. It's like he doesn't work around the house. He doesn't help his mom and everything. Like he's so dirty. How can you discover that?
I don't think you can discover that. Like if you haven't like yet lived with the person, you must first live with the person
Oh, so
to
now,
discover such
Shania,
things.
Shania, you're changing your
Oh
decision right now.
no, I'm not changing.
You're
It's
changing it
still the same,
because,
but I'm saying like you can't.
yeah, because you're
Because
saying like you cannot notice a
mhm.
person is dirty because you've not lived with them. So you're saying you have to live with them to discover that, right? But before you said you
Yeah,
would rather stay
but
alone
I'm
until you
still
get
not
married.
moving in with anyone. Yeah, yeah, I'd rather stay alone first before I get married. But that doesn't mean like I would know my partner's dirty
But a
habits
dirty
or
person is a dirty person. That's something cannot change. They might wear
oh,
some
some
clean
people you have
clothes.
to live with them first.
Yeah, I'm saying like some people will wear like clean clothes, spray themselves, and smell nice, but you will still notice they are dirty. Not from clothes, maybe their body odor.
No. Mm-mm.
I think I think the question that we're trying to answer here is, and I want to ask you guys, how important is it for you to really know your partner before getting married,
For me,
or
100%.
Then don't
100%?
Yeah.
then don't rush into marriage.
Continue
Right.
your
So
question.
that's yeah. Basically, that's the question. How important it is for us to know our partner first. If you want to know your partner first, 100%, then that's what I think Shania was saying. Prolong the time that you want to know your partner first before you actually decide on getting married, then actually moving in, then know, the smelly secrets that your partner has, and break your heart. So I think,
But
it has pros and cons too, but yeah.
I'll admit to something like when we're dating, both of us will have like our own places. I'd go for sleepovers and I'd check and see. Like you can know, like
No, what
I'd
if
check.
they know you're coming
Mm-hmm.
and they clean the whole place? They hide their clothes in the closet
I
and
know a
stuff.
lot of
How will
people
you
like
know?
that.
Yeah, they do that a lot. How will you still know?
Yeah,
I
then
don't
it
know.
would be
Think you know.
difficult like to
Yeah.
determine if someone is dirty or
If you
not.
even noticed, some
Well,
guys when their girls are coming over, they just clean the house. They clean themselves. Like everything is sparkling clean. But when the moment they leave, the house returns like it's just messy and everything. I don't think you would know.
yeah, apart from cleanliness like and tidiness, what else like would you not discover until like you move in together with someone, like their habits, behavior? Which other behaviors like would you not know apart from cleanliness?
Like how they treat their family members. Yeah.
But how can you elaborate? Can
Like for
you
example, if you're together outside and you're with his family member, he can treat them, nice and all. But actually he has a different attitude when he's at home. And you cannot really tell that apart. Like
Hmm.
he's
Okay,
bossy or
but
something. Like he's
mhm.
always bossing around, always telling his younger siblings to clean this, clean that, everything.
Oh, but if you live, like if you date a person for a long period of time, you'd know if they're bossy or not. Mm-hmm.
You could, if you are
Okay.
willing to invest
Which,
that time
Well,
to know your partner before moving in or before
yeah,
you
yeah,
like.
yeah. Of course, you have to be willing, like, to invest your time, like, in knowing your partner. Because if that's the person you want to marry, then you have like to put all your attention, like, in focusing if that is the person you want to marry. So yeah, you'll have to know if he's bossy or not.
okay, I'm coming to you first, Shania, with the next question. How long should you be together before you move in with your partner?
Like I just said, after marriage.
No, I'm like saying in terms of years, months. Yep. That, like, how long will you take to make that decision?
Like now your question is tricky because that would be like, how long would it take before I marry my partner, like get engaged or something? Because I've said, like, my answer was I'd like move in together with someone after marriage. So it depends with the dating time, like the range. Like maybe let's say if I've dated for 2 years for dating, then he proposes, then we get married. Like answering your question is kind of difficult.
So so you're saying you're going to stay like for 2 years when you're dating. Then you, if he asks, let's say you've dated for 2 years, and he asks you to move in with him. Would you do that?
But if he proposes, then he asks me to.
Oh, okay.
That's still not
Process.
marriage. Like, yeah,
You need the ring.
we have to get
Okay.
married first. Yeah, I need the ring
How
first.
about if he
Mm-hmm.
proposes, you have the
Can
ring already, he asks you to move in together, and then you do the deed, and then afterwards he will break up with you. How would you feel about that?
Like I said, nope. After marriage first. Yeah.
But you agreed to move in
see?
together, so that's impossible that
Yeah,
nothing will
that's the
happen
point.
between
No, I
the
didn't.
two of you.
Oh, she did not agree. She said she must. Oh,
I
even
didn't
if she had
agree. I
the
said
ring, she must have the
you
ring
must give me
first,
the.
Oh,
and
okay.
then get married before she moves in. Okay,
So that
that's
is
it.
really, so she's really stern in her decision to move in after marriage. Okay.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't change in future. Because you can never.
So you consider yourself single until, even if you have the ring, the engagement ring, you consider yourself single until you get married, right?
No, I won't consider myself single. Like, obviously I can't do that to my partner because he has given me a ring, like he's promising marriage. So how, like, can I tell other people like I'm single or something?
What if he
So
go back
no,
on his
I
words,
wouldn't consider myself single.
even if you have the ring?
Then I'll give him back his ring.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Fritz? What's your take on that?
Well, I would say the same thing almost, that I would not ask my partner to move in together before we get married. So if even if I proposes or whatever the case may be, if we are not married, because at least here in the Philippines, I don't know in any other places, being married is the only legal position that um a man and a woman can partake in. Like it's the only thing that would change the status, the civil status of someone. So there's only single and then married. So there's no like engaged or whatnot, anything in between. So being single, that would mean you're engaged. That would mean, that could also mean that you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. That could mean that you are even living in or moving in together. But once you get married, once you stood on that altar and say your vows and say your oaths, and then the facilitator, the pastor, the preacher for pronounces you husband and wife. That's the only thing. That's the only time that you I would ask, of course, automatically ask my partner to move in together. So
So,
yeah,
like in your country, like you don't have something called "Can we stay," where you find like two people like they're not married but they have children and they have a family,
And
but they're not married.
we do. We
Do you
do.
have something like that in your country?
I think we do. Yeah, a lot of I think Filipinos. I would say a good amount of Filipino couples are like that. That they have kids first before they decide to get married, or not even get to decide. They just want to have a family, and then just ignore the marriage at all. So yeah, we do have those kinds of couple of relationships, and I'm not I'm not judging them, but we do have those kinds of relationships,
oh, I think it
right,
doesn't really
Mercedes?
matter if you're married or not. For some people, it doesn't matter. I think it is about the relationship they share between them. Because let's say I've decided to move in, not even moving. We have children already. We're living together. We are not married. So some people like don't consider marriage as a reason to move in together. For you, you might say like you want to get married first before you move in together with someone. But for someone, so for others, they may say no. Let's do it. It's not a matter. We get married. We can just move in. We live together and see what will happen after.
Right. So here, I also want to ask another question. So if you really love one another, let's say for example, you have a partner and you really, really love that partner, your boyfriend, for example, would it be a great courtesy for your partner to seal your vow, to seal your commitment of your love to him by getting married? Or does it matter to you at all? Like how many percent? Or you can just, I just really love you, and then we don't need to get married. I just love you. I'll just prove it to you in my lifetime. Is that enough for you? Or
Someone who loves me would never say something stupid like that. Yeah. If someone loves you, they'll give you the ring. What do you mean?
What if they're from a different culture and in their culture it's not important, but you really love
Well,
him?
in my culture, we do value marriage. I don't care. Give me the ring first. Because, yes, I do love you, but do you love me enough to, like, want to marry me? So, yeah. And in my culture, like, people do value marriages.
right, I think that's the same thing with what Kathy was asking. That we have couples that get together, move in together, have kids, have families, and have grandchild, and not to get and not to worry about getting married. So you know that's what I was saying. Would it be enough for you if your husband, or if your partner would say, "I'll just prove my love to you for my lifetime," and but we'll never get married. So
And I feel in situations like that, women are the ones who like have the most to lose. Cause you're saying that he'll prove like in future or something. What if he gives me two babies and then he finds the love of his life? Then he leaves me with my two
It can
children.
only happen if you're married,
Then
you know.
yeah, but at least I'd know that I went for the ring.
For me, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I'd be pissed if, especially, we are financially stable for someone like to suggest something like that. Like, why? Like, we have the finances, like, to have a wedding, and if we don't have the finances, like, we can go to the council. It's not a must. Like, we have a big wedding. Like, we can just go the two of us and have a witness. Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same as, like, the celebrities nowadays. After they got married for like 2 years, 1 year, then they will separate. They will file a divorce. I wonder if they're also thinking the same way you think right now, or you know.
Then okay, some people try, maybe they tried and their relationship didn't work out, and the best thing to do was to go separate ways.
Mhm.
But it's still not the same thing.
And
Yeah. So
also,
you mean that, but you can't know the future, what is like the future holds.
mm,
The person you might marry, like maybe today, in 3 or 4 years' time, maybe you guys would separate or something bad would happen that would lead to the marriage like ending or something.
because I
So
read
you'd never know.
somewhere
But
that
as for now, mhm,
the guy is really, having regrets. He said that having, filing for a divorce is really expensive. So he's like, he's like telling the younger generation to wait or live in together so that you can discover your partner more.
okay, suppose you do that. What if you end up living with 5 people before you find the love of your life? Imagine living with 5 men, like looking for the one that you think is the one. Does it make sense?
Me, actually,
Well,
marriage doesn't matter. Just prove it to
it
me in
doesn't.
your lifetime. Because
Yes, but of course, like we are two people living in the same house. It's just not my home, it's our home. So we should both participate equally in ensuring that it's tidy. You just stay at your home. It's the question you asked, and that was my answer, but I wouldn't do that.
like for me, it's supposed to be a shared task so that your children can see what you do as a husband, and it will lead as an example for them so that when they grow up, they can also clean their house, they're independent, they don't have to marry someone to do the work for them. For me, if the father is only the one working for the household, normally it's not enough, especially in the inflation that we have right now. It's not enough. So we don't have a choice, but the wife also works, have a career, while at the same time taking care of the children. So why wouldn't we share the tasks, the house chores as well? Right?
I just don't think it's fair for one person to take responsibility of doing everything in the home.
Well, I would say everything should be a shared responsibility. Some people would say no, some men would say no, but I guess they're gonna have a miserable partnership with their wives. They're not gonna share. So it's up to them. For me, I want to share everything with my partner, my wife. So if I'm not gonna be able to provide, then my wife could in the times that I can. If my wife can't do the household chores when she's sick or whatever, then I can put it on my shoulders at the time if she can. So that's a better partnership than have it, 100 100. But when you lose the other 100, you're just, crippled.
Everyone should have a say to something. It's your home. If you're living with someone, you should not shut them down. Give an opinion to something. I just think it's logic. Yeah, everyone should have a say. If you're dumb enough to allow your partner to not listen to you or let you have a say in something, then that's just your problem and you should not be in that relationship.
Well, it depends. It depends in a lot of factors. First is the capability of your partner. So, of course, you must both know who is capable to do the task. So, if it depends on the plumbing or repairing the car or lifting up heavy things or washing the dishes, it's based on the capacity of your partner to do that. If your partner's not able to lift the a jug of water, then of course you're the one who's, or your partner should be doing it. Another thing is not, it's not just the capacity of the partner, but it's also its effectivity, I would say. So yes, if your partner can wash the dishes, but she's, for example, dropping every single plate every time she's washing it, then just let me just do it. So that's what I would say. It's not just, if you're able to do it, but if you're also able to do it, not really avoiding the mess, we're avoiding extra expenses, I would say. You don't want to buy, plates every time.
What if she is clumsy, like in all of kind of tasks? She's clumsy and she drops everything. So at the end, you have to do everything.
If she's clumsy, then definitely I would have her do other things. For example, let's say fold things. So if she is able to fold clothes, she's not gonna be breaking anything. Or let's say, what else? Yeah, folding things, or washing the utensils that are not breakable. So there's a lot of alternatives that your partner can work out. Living with someone is really takes a lot of compromise for you. So it's really taking you out of the comforts. I know Mercedes knows this because, you know
Yeah.
she
If your partner is having like a weakness in certain things, it's your job to top it up with your strength and vice versa. It's like give and take.
right. So it's not gonna be always you, always her, always him. So it's really a partnership that you have to create and talk about and deal with and commit to. So I think that would be a better environment for you to have, rather than, this is your task, this is my task, so I mind my own business, you mind your own business. I think that's going to be a more, let's say, borderline toxic communication rather than a healthy one. So
Yeah, that's right. What if, for example, your partner got busy at work and then he or she wasn't able to do the dishes, and you'll say, "That's your task. Why didn't you do it?" If you're gonna name every
right.
task in the house, yeah, it's gonna be toxic. So you should ask. You should like act as a teamwork. You have teamwork. If the other one is not available, then you will rescue them, and vice versa.
Right. And here's the thing with your partner. Let's say, for example, you really do have a good partner, or you really do have a person that you really love, that you're married to someone that you really love. I think um doing things that are out of your scope, or doing things that would require you to compromise, those things are really the things that you really would not think about a lot. So for example, making sacrifices for someone that you you deeply appreciate, or you deeply have affections to. I think, for example, um you really don't want to do the dishes, but you really love your partner and they're too tired to do it, or they broke their hand, or they have wounds in their fingers. I think if you really love that person, it will not be hard for you. You would not even think twice um in doing that.
So, are you willing to fix the plumbing if your if your partner is not capable and you don't know it? For me, it should be shared. And it really depends if the guy is earning more than the girl. For example, he's earning 1,000 USD and the girl just earns 100 USD, then they can combine it together and they can budget it together. That's more realistic, so they can apply the finance tips and tricks or techniques like the 50-30-20 rule. Like 50% of your income together can go to the needs, and then the 30% can go to your wants, and then the 20% rule can go to your savings. That's, you can also enjoy your own money, like if it's combined together, if you will spend the 30% in your wants. So for me, that is more fair, that's more transparent if you do the budgeting together and you combine all together. We should always follow God's design when it comes to marriage because He is the Almighty, all knowing God. If we follow His commandments, it will be less hurt in our end. And just like the Bible's example, Jacob waited 7 years for Rachel, or I forgot, is it Rachel or Raquel? Yeah, it's Rachel. Jacob waited 7 years for Rachel before he can live with her, before he can marry her. And he did a lot of work, like a lot of labor for his father. He really, um like, you can tell that he really loves Rachel because all of the work that he did. But in the end, he finally got her, and it is really satisfying. And everything went according to the plan. There's no problem whatsoever. So if we will remain obedient, then we are the one who are going to reap what we sow, and we will be off to good start if we follow God's design. So that's my take on it. So shout out to my family and friends and to all who's watching this episode.